I'm here before the Mary altar at St. Stephen's Catholic Church in Portland, Oregon, and today is the first day in our novena to Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. Well, I filmed a video series for the novena of the Miraculous Medal 4 years ago, and going back and watching it, it's really good. Each episode starts with a Marian Latin chant, a song of some sort, and then a little bit of the story, and then the prayer. So I'm going to do it differently this year since, I don't want to just redo the same thing all over again. But actually, I enjoyed watching that. The production values are less than they are now, and we're still pretty low in our production values. But anyway, I'll put a link in the description below the video if you want to go back and watch that last video series. I think it's pretty good. So hopefully I can live up to that this time. We are going to look at the early childhood of the woman who would become Saint Catherine Labouré. She starts out as a little girl, like all of us begin as children. She starts off as a little girl, and her name is Zoe Labouré. Now, I'm reading today and referring to the book St. Catherine Labouré by Father Joseph Dirvin, St. Catherine Labouré of the Miraculous Medal. This is published by TAN Books, Thomas A. Nelson Books, TAN Books, and it is a reprint of it is a retypeset, I think, or reprint of a 1958 biography, which was said to be the definitive biography of St. Catherine Labouré. So, just to summarize things here, little Zoe's parents were fairly well-to-do, and she was one of several children, and her mother died at a young age. Her parents had been married 22 years. Her mother died at the age of 42, and Zoe at the time was 9 years old. And so, here is what happens. It was in this crisis that Zoe adopted Mary as her mother. It was on a day shortly after her mother's burial that the extraordinary thing happened. A statue of Our Lady stood on a shelf in the bedroom of her father and mother. It was probably a cheap statue, battered and chipped. It might have been of stone or wood, or only of plaster, colored or plain. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it was a statue of Our Lady, perhaps the most important statue of Our Lady in modern times. That unknown, long-discarded statue was the instrument that ushered in the Marian age. Zoe was alone in the bedroom. She looked carefully about to make sure of that. She had a duty to perform, and like all the solemn and decisive acts of life, it had to be done alone. Of course, even Zoe did not realize that what she was about to do far transcended her personal life. It was vital to countless millions yet unborn, and so she might have spared herself her pains, for all the world was to see her. The Blessed Virgin arranged for the servant to happen quietly on the scene and to observe it all. Zoe pulled a chair over beneath the shelf, for it was too high for her to reach, even if she stood on tiptoe. Climbing up on the chair, she stretched overhead, and took down Our Lady's image. She was too much engrossed in the ecstasy of her devotion to notice anything now. She did not even get down from the chair. It would serve well enough for the altar of her choosing and dedication, and throwing her arms around the statue, she hugged it close to her little body, as a child might fondle her favorite doll or teddy bear. But this was no doll. In a sense, it was no longer just a statue of Our Lady. It was Mary herself. Zoe's words showed that very clearly. "Now, dear Blessed Mother," she said aloud with childlike fervor, "now you will be my mother." Only that, she put the statue back in its familiar place and climbed down off the chair. Now, what Zoe meant to do, what she did is clear enough. She missed her mother terribly. She felt deeply the need for someone to take her place. Yet how was it that, at the tender age of 9, she made the perfect choice? Well, from this day forward, Zoe Labouré was truly the child of Mary, and Mary was truly her mother. Now, the book goes on to describe how Zoe had a desire to see the Blessed Virgin from the time of 9, and she was confident that she would. Now, what does that mean? I don't know if she even knew what that meant, but we'll continue with the story next time. So join me tomorrow for the second day in our novena to Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal and find out more. But now it's time to pray our novena prayer. So you'll need to click on the link in the description below the video for the video that'll be the same every day, because our prayer is the same every day in this novena. You can pray along with me on that video, and then just watch these 9 videos for a different reflection each day, and then you can watch that same video each day for the prayer. All right, and you can print out the novena prayer also in a link in the description below the video. And so I hope to see you tomorrow, and don't miss a day of prayer with us.